What's up, everybody? Okay, I'll cut up the interview, the whole thing. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna take the interview piece and I'm gonna put it right after this video. There you go. I mean, you don't really need anything. For my part, there's nothing more I can say or do as far as AMC. I think that video shows everything. So,
All right, we got Lou back. Hopefully, he's got the audio this time.
I can hear you. Let me know if you can hear me.
I can hear you, Lou. Welcome to the show.
All right, let's get this going. Like I joined on for 2 seconds. People talking about kissing and hugging. I was like, wait a minute. I don't think this is the night to join.
So, Lou, what's your take on the case right now?
Here's my thing on it. This is like, you ever try to maybe my childhood. Like, there's a problem that you think you could fix, but it starts to become bigger and bigger, and then you got to start looking for adults. I think right now, this problem that we have, this lawsuit, this is not a settlement lawsuit the way I see it. This is a fraud. This is securities fraud. Because so I'm gonna make it real simple. Like, we already know how they fucked us. We already know April sold us a dividend to us. They took the money from us. We heard the lead plaintiff say, no, it's just the common stock in a smaller position. Yeah, but motherfucker, they were making a deal with Antera, and this thing was all over. We got screwed in a ton of different ways. We already know all that stuff. So now here we are in the court case. We know so many things now that we were feeling along the ways, and it's even worse. This vote, we cannot see any information on how this vote was done, how it was managed, how it was we don't have any data on this. Right. So based on that, nobody trusts Allegheny. The attorney, what the fucking guy's name, Lubavitch, what the fucking Allegheny's attorney, like, that guy's the new Luna, like, for real. Like, it's just, I'm thinking, moving forward, the simplest way of doing this, if we can, because like I said, this is no longer in our hands. This is Judge, Vice Chancellor Zern completely. I would love to see Ted take over as lead counsel. Take this over. I would love to see a request be put in to Judge Zern to add possible security fraud on this action, because right now I know that she sees things that are wrong. From what I've heard, I could literally feel it, but that's outside of what they're discussing now. This is a settlement case. Now, if we had a chance to have a new lead counsel, and the new lead counsel was to say, hey, can we rework this action to address, what retail shareholders are not only feeling, but we have proven in discovery. I think that will be better for us. And also having a new count. Having a new count, not only just of what AMC is, but this whole ape debacle, because as you guys know, ape's been swimming around for a while.
Yeah.
That has been all over the place. Like AMC, when AMC created ape, it hit me like a ton of bricks, because a lot of people back then were like, no, it's going to cause the MOAS. And I was like, and I heard it live on the Space Call, and I was like, wait a minute. A preferred equity unit, because that's how it would have to be classified. But they're saying it's a dividend. So right there, somebody should have stepped in and put a pause on this, because the company sold it to us as a dividend. It was filed as a preferred equity unit, and it has a new cuspid, has a new stock ticker, and was sold and traded. Now it's swimming in dark pools and gone as being shorted. This whole thing should have been stopped a long time ago. I mean, the fact that the stock went from, I think, $32 to $4 based on the creation of a new stock position that nobody could define, I think that this lawsuit needs a new lead counsel. I think that they need to add, let's just scale back on the fraud. Let's just say, Judge Zern, we need more time to do further discovery on what exactly ape is before we do a settlement on ape. Because right now we do not know it. If you classify it as a dividend, overseas investors, retail investors are going to have to pay dividends tax. So they're going to get hurt. If it's a new stock position, not combine in a smaller position, then AMC broke fiduciary responsibility to us, and that opens them up to lawsuits all over the country, Jesus, all over the world if you want to. The reality is because they went ahead and did something with our approval. We're the majority. Now, on the other side of that, let me stay on focus on this. I start talking about this shit, I'm gonna start punching computers and stuff. You have this situation right now where we're about to get bled out 2 to 3 times. We paid for 8 the first time when they robbed us. We didn't have any time to vote on it. It was just done to us. Like literally, like the decision came and it was done. So basically, we paid for 8 then. There are people that paid for it as a dividend overseas up to 30%. And then now our position is going to be marked down smaller. So we're going to pay for it again. So we're going to get hit 3 times. There is no settlement in the world that is going to solve that. I'm not even talking about $72, $32. You know, maybe we can break it. No. People are going to get mauled in this no matter what. I see the only way we get justice in this is that we get the time, the reverse split gets stopped. We get the additional time and let the market, the environment solve AMC and APE on its own without a reverse split. That will be one. And on the other, this is starting to look like it's going to wind up in a federal court in multiple lawsuits. Because the one thing that, I know people are looking at it. Trust me, there's agencies looking at this. I could just tell you this. Nobody yet has a solid, concrete definition, explanation of what is APE. AMC said it was a dividend, it's for free. All of us know it wasn't for free. We had our portfolio chopped up. By the way, a lot of us didn't even get APE for several days afterwards. And we took a loss of money on our portfolio even before we got APE. And the reality was, if it's a dividend, what is it doing in dark pools? Well, how's it being shorted? Like, I know that this is new for a lot of people, but that, like, at first, that just, like, it was like, oh my God, like, I have never seen anything like this before. And like I said, people that I know that have been around this world know that this has nothing to do with keeping AMC out of bankruptcy. There's no possible way AMC is going to go into bankruptcy. They have a supply line of movies coming in. They don't even got to manufacture movies. All they got to do is rent spaces of their movie theaters, and movies come to them. It's a cash cow business. It's just been run poorly because that's what they want to do. They want to blow it out. So AMC is not going out of business. They're taking bonuses, high salaries. They got the private jets. Everybody's happy in AMC. It ain't going out of business. This reverse split, the creation of APE, everything that was done was to benefit the cast of characters in Wall Street.
Yeah.
I try to warn everybody when this first started. You don't understand who they are. We have been battling the top names on the street in both the street and the financial backing, as far as like issuing out money. Then we got this mysterious character Antara showing up. Think about that one. This is like Star Wars type shit. All of a sudden, like the fucking Emperor came out. And they got all this power. And at the end of the day, why was this deal struck? There was never any explanation or anything. So definitely, I would like to see new counsel come in. I would like to see this reverse split stopped. Pause, if you would. I would like to see the market do what it does, because AMC right now is dry. Cost of borrow is up. Powell's going to be raising interest rates this fall. So this is going to be the summer of love before the fall of terror. So we might have an opportunity, and everybody knows, if they don't get the reverse split now, it's not going to be pretty for people on the street. It's just not, because you shorted AMC and now you can't turn into APE. What you got? You could delay a couple of orders, you could dark pull a couple of things, but this is too big. Even APE has become a monster. When I said the other day, I'm finishing up a Wall Street, this is my last play, except for when Ripple goes IPO. You need to understand, you're literally seeing right now the best of what Wall Street has ganging up against the only money in Wall Street, which is retail. What does that tell you? This is it. This is the last battle for retail shareholders and investors on Wall Street. Because if they win this, it will be open season on all of us going forward. Because take a look at what they've done to every heavily shorted stock. Reverse split, go fuck your mother. Nobody solved the payment for order flow. Nobody solved the dark pool situation, dark versus light. Everybody, even the exchange is turning around and creating liquidity on stocks that they don't even have. Everybody's a market maker. You got brokers now. Brokers are now acting like little DTCCs. So it's like, I'm just telling people, like, you're seeing the worst of Wall Street live, in public, in a courtroom. And the only thing we could hope for is for a reverse split to be paused. What, 180 days? Maybe 90 days? I'll take it. I'll take it, because if we don't run during that time, I honestly believe we're going to wind up being in multiple lawsuits going into the future. Because all this discovery that has come out is only feeding certain lawyers out there to building an action, because before they were going based on things that they thought. Now they can see it. Even the Antara case in the Southern District, those attorneys are looking at this every day to strengthen their case. Think about how many cases are on the verge of being filed that we don't even know about. So that's my rant.
No, I appreciate it, man. I fucking appreciate it. I think you nailed it, as always. And I remember you distinctively, going back to 2001, late 2001. No, it was late 2001, early 2002. I remember you saying, "Listen, popcorn. I'm not too like, I'm not too comfortable with this guy." I remember saying to myself, "I wonder why he's saying this." I didn't understand why, because he puts on such a good show. He puts on such a theatrical show. Frank brought up earlier, I don't know if you heard him, he was like, pounce and there's gold in our hills and all that other shit. And he lulled so many people into this deception.
Let me tell you something. When I saw popcorn, it's not like I looked at his face and go, yeah, he looks like a sinister motherfucker that wears sweaters. No. When I looked at him, I said to myself, wait a minute. You're a CEO of a company that is, and I'm doing the open air quotes here, facing bankruptcy, but what exactly are you doing besides retail coming in? Like borrowing money, getting into further debt. Like, I started to see his behavior, and I'm like, I've been around CEOs. I've been around good CEOs, and I've been around some sinister motherfuckers. I've been involved in collecting, getting millions for CEOs to like move on to other, I've been in that private equity world. Like, that's my world. I saw his behavior kind of fucking strange. Like, wait a minute. This is not how he's supposed to be acting. Like, okay, let me give you an example. Okay. When the big COVID happened and the movie theaters shut down, we're the money that came in. So we're the money that came in. But there's something strange about it. Why wasn't the CEO and the board taking their money and buying up all available shares to fight off the shorts? Right off the beginning, I said to myself, if I was a CEO, I will freeze my salary, freeze bonus. I will tell all the board members, family members, if you want to save this company, you rich motherfuckers, we have to buy everything. We have to go to war. And when I saw him not do that, but then he's saying things like, we're going to pounce, I hate this, that we're going to beat the shorts. I like Liz. I said to myself, wait a minute. What the fuck is going on here? Because this is so simple to solve. Like, you literally could have just bought up every freaking shit. Like, he could have done a share callback back then. The second that people started saying about synthetic, I was the first asshole that said, yeah, that's not the right price. I was counting this. I've done this for a living. And I said to myself, wait a minute. That type of volume on that type of day, they're swimming this, they're parking the orders. Remember, I was talking about them parking the orders before. Nobody even talked about payment for order flow. This is something that you're not supposed to talk about, and who gives a fuck? But I saw innocent people getting mauled. And I said, they're going to get fucked up anyway. There's no way around it. You can park all the orders you want. At a certain point, the dam is going to break, and you ain't going to have that much fingers. And on June 2nd, we ripped. When that action of him dumping those shares came out, over the merger, and then saying that you have to save the company. Wait a minute, you sold it to like at $40-something. I want people to understand this. When we ran right before 8 at 32, they stopped us. When they dropped those shares in the 40s, Popcorn and Co. stopped us. And I'm thinking to myself, like, wait a minute, you could have not only solved your debt problem, you could have eliminated, you could have been the number one CEO on the planet. Like, you could have taken over fucking Mars next to Elon. Because all you had to do is hold on to those shares, dump them when they were 150, 250. I gave the ranges on the price on this. I ran this through fucking scientists. And at the end of the day, the white papers that, if you're out there asking, what's up? The thing is, like, we did the numbers. This thing, without stopping, I mean, we always got stops in, the big board, but you could have easily seen a couple of $100, and if people held, God knows what it would have been. But now that we know the cast of characters backing all this would have taken down the Robin Hoods. This would have taken down this would have taken down everybody that sold stocks and this. I said, I got you. Think about it. We were making it easy for them. We were buying something they didn't have.
Yeah.
And we were holding it, and they never had to get it. And every now and then, if somebody made a phone call, hey, you ever gonna get those shares? They would just swap them out with somebody else. They were swapping positions out. So I'm looking at this from the back end, like, and Popcorn didn't say a fucking thing. That's how I said, yo, this motherfucker, like, for real, like, he is. All these people talking about Kenny, like, please. Kenny's fucking, like, he's richer than Satan. He doesn't need to fuck with us. It's not even him. It's the nature of the beast of the market maker. I get it. But in this situation, the buck stops with the CEO. He could have said, wait a minute. If you got a guy that just finished throwing hands for money, surviving God knows what, and all of a sudden, I'm doing the math like fucking Rain Man and saying, yeah, that price, we were around $1,200 something when I opened up my mouth and got on video. Now, mind you, that wasn't the easiest thing to do considering the situations I was in. The government had a thumb on me. They got an asshole in the bank using my ID, and I'm on the fucking federal, all types of watch. And here I go, I open up a YouTube channel, open up my mouth and go, yeah, Wall Street's fucking you over. This is how they're doing it. Think about that, where exactly I was at to do this. But I did it, and I said to myself, wait a minute, but if I am seeing this, and every day I was coming out like, yeah, look at this, look at the bottom. Everybody remember Friday 21? I said, I'll prove it to you. Buy as many as you want if you want to buy it. You will not beat the in the money for Friday. You won't do it. And guess what? We didn't do it. You have people from all over the world buying.
Yeah.
Nothing. Yeah. So when you see something like that and the CEO tells you that if you come in and spend, I don't know, $50, you get a free bucket with some fucking weird character on it, that's how I knew the fix was in. We continue beating them along the way. Even when they want, why would a CEO want a salary increase? Remember when he wanted that?
Yeah.
Think about that. He wanted it. You're a multi-fucking millionaire. You want a salary increase? Wasn't his excuse like he's getting older, you have to drop shares, okay? You want a salary? When your company is being shorted to death during something that happens to your industry, like the lockdowns, you become a wartime CEO. What does that mean? You fly commercial. You don't take a salary. There is no bonus. There is no more hiring. Your entire day is spent on marketing and cost cutting. And at the end of the day, if you even catch a whiff of your stocks being fucked with, you bring those suckers back for a call. And people say, well, they couldn't afford to buy them back, but they could have counted them. They could have counted them. They could have put that transparency out there and said, oh, look at what we got here. But they would never do that because that's not what this play was all about.
What do you think about Zern, dog?
You know something? You go back a couple of cases with Zern, she spanked
AMC. It was Linda Lau.
No. It was a case. No, it was a Zern case. I'm not Lau. There was a Zern case where she spanked. I'll find it and I'll put it out there. She does not like people using her court as a rubber stamp. It was a FINRA type case. It was a couple of years ago. She called, listen, all this lawsuit thing is right now, this settlement lawsuit, it's just to protect them from future lawsuits. That's all it is. This is all, think about it. What is it going to cost AMC? AMC was willing to pay for this settlement with future reverse split money.
Shares.
So-
Shares, actually.
Yeah, shares. So basically, what does it matter? So you know, what 100 million, 100. What does it matter? You're creating out of nothing. The settlement is technically surrendering. Why sue and settle for something that's going to basically destroy the value of everything? That doesn't make any sense. That's like getting on an airplane with one fucking wing and saying, "I hope this is going to be a great flight." You're not going to get it. That's why when I look at Zern and I go back to that case, and I'll find it for you. You can even, it's out there on Google. She basically pulled people's collars. She doesn't like her court being used as a rubber stamp, you know, and that's what this is. And I hope she listens to this. I hope this gets to her. This is nothing more than a rubber stamp to prevent AMC from having further litigation against them on this ape conversion. Because if you think about it, okay, let's play devil's advocate. Let's just say the reverse split is stopped. Let's say Zern puts out an opinion / order saying, in my opinion, Antara shouldn't have the voting rights. Let's say this was unethical, this is borderline, yada, 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 whatever. Do you know what people can do with that order in a federal district court? Do you understand? But if there's a settlement approval and the reverse split is approved, then they have the immunity because they can go, well, we're working on the instructions of the court. They approved this. That's where this becomes a different world. Just like, remember when it was so obvious that there was synthetics all over the place? I remember I did a video, I said, where's popcorn? All of a sudden the motherfucker popped up like Satan. And he's like, yeah, we're 90%, retail's 90% of the float. And it was something like 4 million, what did he say? He said there was 4 million of us, and we're 90% of the vote. And I'm like, is anybody counting the institutes? Because we were about 100, if the memory serves me correct, 130 to 180 million above where we were supposed to be. This is pre-8. We were only supposed to be 516 million. And if we're 90%, and what the institutes were holding, if we did the math, and I did the math live, I was just going through, I mean, I was doing it live, and I'm like, you tell me how exactly we're 90%.
Yeah.
It's impossible. And then look at the shit we found out afterwards. Things popping up, tokenized stuff, FTX, Bankman, I mean, like Brazil. Nobody's ever accounted for those fucking Brazilians. And I'm thinking, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'm thinking those Brazilians were nothing more than ape.
Yep.
On standby, keeping the fires down.
They were, so those certificates were used to short with, and there's about 3 billion of them, and they're all owned by guess who? Fucking Citi.
Who's that?
Citi.
Yeah,
it's all cities.
City system and Citi, you motherfuckers are listening, giant hugs. The thing is, City system, the way it works out is North America and Latin America. They consider Latin America like the red zone. It's a totally different books. So even if they're subpoenaed with their books in America, not the red, it's split. These are some intelligent, I used to say it all the time. You're talking about some highly intelligent motherfuckers. Like the way they crafted this shit is, it's impressive. It really was. And I tell people all the time, listen, we've done an amazing thing. We battled them. We beat them. What they resorted to along the way was fucked up. And we've seen it, live. They can't even define what the fuck ape is. And this is all about ape. And I foresaw, let me tell you something, even my brain is not fucked up enough to see the darkness of all this stuff. But I knew, wait a minute, who's getting the voting rights? And because I always said, we could absorb a couple of 100 million shares. We would have bought it up. We would have gobbled it up. But my thing was the voting rights. The second that they get the voting rights, they're going to vote yes for dilution. And now we find out months later that the fix was in. buy it at a cheap price, no problem. Renegotiate the debt, and all of a sudden just vote in the affirmative, and then computer share votes also for the absentees. I mean, they got 100,000 people that never got a postcard because when they bought the shares, and today they got different addresses. These motherfuckers could be dead or in prison for all we know. Like Martians could have taken them, but they voted yes. That's why this thing has to have a full recount. This reverse split has to be stopped because listen, if you guys are in contact, like Al, you're in contact with Ted, the other attorney, not this fucking moment we got now. You gotta tell him he has to rush in an emergency motion to Judge Young before she makes a decision, and tell her that she cannot make a decision on this settlement. It is not even clear what exactly to the retail shareholders. What exactly is APE? Because that's what we're deciding on. How can you decide on an APE settlement if we don't even know if APE is a dividend, if APE is a separate stock, or APE is common on a lower position? And if that's the case, each one has its own little set of bullet points of like, why is it in the dark pool? Why is it being shorted? Because each one is different. That's the main thing. So before we even, that alone should pause this entire case until this is clarified. Because what exactly is Judge Stern deciding? A settlement on a dividend? A settlement on a split in the stock at a lower position? And then if that's the case and you split it and you did the lower position and you added more shares to it, then you broke fiduciary responsibility. Because I thought about that earlier today. Their definition was that they took the existing AMC shares and they split it and they created APE in a lower position. Now, my thing is this, then you added more APE on top. We didn't approve of that. Because if APE is AMC, just in a lower position, we never approved more AMC then. So APE has to be a separate stock. So you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They broke fiduciary responsibility by this action, and they can't define it. That's why they sold it at first as a free dividend. Because a free dividend sounds fucking great. It's like if you walk through the street and go, hey, free strip show, you walk inside, there's a bunch of dudes hanging out dressed in leather. It ain't that fucking great of a deal. That's what we got. We went from a free dividend, which didn't make any fucking sense because they were almost in bankruptcy. So how could a company in debt issue a dividend?
Yeah. Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make a lick of sense.
That's where we start having the problem. I'm like, you're in debt, but you're offering a dividend. But at the same time, this dividend has a new custody number and it's being shorted and it's also running through dark pools.
How does that make sense?
It doesn't. I think I would have been arrested if I was in that court. I really would have, like for real. Like if people talk about the fire alarm, forget it. I would have had an ankle bracelet on me by now. You don't have to go any further than that. We're in a settlement for APE losses. We don't even know what the fuck APE is.
Let me ask
I've
you.
been saying this for months. We don't even know what APE is.
Frank, you got a question?
Actually, I just wanted to build on something Lou said earlier. This company didn't get its wagons in a circle during the pandemic, and a lot of people miss that. Okay. And the other thing they miss is Adam Aaron joined AMC December of 2015. Okay. He started work early January. By December 31st of 2016, literally 1 year, we had $4.36 billion in debt. Okay. So a lot of people like to point to the pandemic and say, oh, look, it's all the pandemic and we can't blame Adam. No. We were almost $4.5 billion in debt by the time the pandemic showed up. And when I say these people are trying to bust this out like the restaurant in Goodfellas, I'm not kidding. I'm not exaggerating. In 2020, AMC lost like 4-point-something billion. Okay, that same year, when Adam was saying, "Oh, I'm gonna freeze my my salary." Look, he got $1 million salary, a $5 million non-stock cash bonus, and then paid himself $15 million in stock. These people, all the top 5, every one of our board of directors gets fees and stock, Al.
Yeah.
Okay?
Good.
Every one of them.
I'll take it a step further. I'll even go before this. I'll even go before GameStop. I'll just put it here. Remember how this all started in Reddit?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Reddit got a fucking like $300 million forgivable loan from some fucking half a Chinese communist dude. Why? Well, before all this started, the GameStop, the AMC, and all the other ones, why did Reddit get that money? Let me tell you something. The fix was in. I'm telling you now, the fix was in. You know, like I can, you know, Al, you know El Spaghetti. You know him.
Yep.
Okay? You know what he does for a living.
Yep.
He can testify that I've gotten pressure on me, that people go, you're sure. I've gotten the fucking boot of life stepping on my neck. And because of all of this shit.
Yeah.
You can even talk to them to verify this. But I still kept talking because I'm one of these fucking retards. And that's one of these things. The thing about it is this. This didn't start with AMC. This was way before GameStop. This was all planned out. People think about it. And then they fed us Chinese IPOs, and then they had all these fucking bullshit cryptos, and then we're finding out fucking political alliances. People, this is bigger than what we are saying now. But before these channels all get clipped and everything, I'm telling you something. Let's just focus on real small. What the fuck is 8? If we don't know, if we don't know what the fuck is 8, like we gotta ask Judge Zern, like for real, like for her to give a definition. You know what? Right there, that's my thing. It just hit my brain right now. We need Vice Chancellor Zern, in her order of opinion. Ted should ask her for her court opinion as the Vice Chancellor to describe 8 to the retail shareholders. I'll even go into the reverse split with that, because at least I know on the other side there'll be penalties. I guarantee you that if we have a judge say, okay, it wasn't a dividend. Well, it was sold as a dividend. Guess what happens? Bam. Well, no, it's AMC shares. Oh, in a lower position. But they created more AMC shares on top called 8. So they diluted without our vote. Guess what? Bam. They fucked themselves over. Oh, no, it's a new stock, totally separate, with a new customer. Guess what? Bam, they fucked themselves up. But either way they go, they're going to fuck themselves. And for people listening, AMC people, whatever, listen, at the end of the day, go fuck your mother. I'm so sick of this shit. You know, I've even had fucking feds tell me to calm down. Like, don't talk, don't say this or that. And for the motherfucker that told me, listen, John Hikes, all the feds, listen, stuff like that, but that shit up to my fucking house? Come on. I'll leave it at that.
Lou, did you ever?
Shoot.
I was going to ask you, Lou, did you ever hear that AMC, before APE was named APE, it's just a preferred share, authorized, not issued, for like 13 years? Did you ever hear that?
I've heard that it's been swimming around. I mean, companies do that, you know, but that's the unregistered side. You have to understand, you can do that world when a stock is, let's say, for example, I own, I don't know, Loop Inc. And let's say, for example, I create shares and I need money, and I can, you know, I can give some to you, some to other people. But when we get on to the big board with cuspid numbers, that's a different world. See, when they turn 8 from that inside sleepy preferred shares, whatever it was, onto something that could be traded, shorted, and put through dark pools, then we enter the different world. That's why when APE was created, I was like, oh my God, these motherfuckers just went ahead with dilution. And they can't even describe it. Remember how all of us were saying, what is APE? I mean, I know I was saying it. People thought I was crazy. But yet to this day, I asked 10 people and everybody's going to give me a different answer. It's a dividend. It was a free dividend. Oh no, I paid for it. It's a separate stock. Oh no, it's AMC.
You could trade options on it for a couple of weeks.
Oh, that was even beautiful. Some brokers didn't even know some brokers swore that you couldn't trade options, but then on the side you said something, but there's the options chain. Think about that sinister war that we had, that even the brokers didn't know what to do with it. There were brokers that didn't even understand it when they were going to get the 8. They didn't know how to describe 8. That's the problem. So we're actually figuring out a settlement right now on something that nobody even can just, I mean, come on. Not for nothing. Whoever's a new lead counsel, I would fucking appeal this. I would ask for a temporary stay on this pending appeal. If we don't get the outcome we want, there's always another court.
Yeah, there's the federal. Yeah.
Because Because at the end of the day, it's a, you know, and I'm not looking to listen. I'm one of these people like, look, I'm gonna make $1 gazillion with fucking XRP, XLM, and all the other shit. Yeah, I'm like whatever. I move on with life. I'm a shark. This is what I did for a living. I take beatings and I move on. Now, but the problem is, this was so sinister, and I've read the emails on how people have gotten mauled and killed and like all kinds of stuff. And I'm just like, it breaks my heart because this was done to my people. See, that's the thing about it. Like, I'm not one of these like socialist fucks. I'm not one of those like, you know, down with the rich type shit. I'm not that. You know, I feel like if you can make your money, don't hurt nobody, great. But this was done with a form of cruelty. There was a malice in this.
Yeah.
You kept taking away from people that didn't have anything during a fucking pandemic lockdown where people were facing like being homeless. Like, people were doing this to try to survive. There were people that were living in motels. That's why I was like, people, why didn't you go to the court? I'm like, because if your ass wants me to be on YouTube and not in the fucking prison, trust me, it's better that I stay the fuck down here. Even my federal judge told me to get the fuck out of the country. Go home. Be happy. It's just, you know, you think about this and you start saying to yourself, like, right now, the easiest way to describe this lawsuit is in 1 second. We do not know what ape is. This must all be paused. We have to have a stay. Let it be a stay for 90 days. Let AMC have to provide an official statement on what ape is. Because if that's the case, then our side can challenge. I mean, this is going to wind up in federal court. There's no way around it. There's none. I see my ass being subpoenaed one day, like for real. Like there's just no way around this. This is going to wind up in a federal court because at the heart of this was we beat the fuck out of them. We bought all these shares. We cornered these motherfuckers. They weren't ready for us. They tried to get ready. They formed their alliances. They were all ready. They were going to make a killing on us. But the reality is we wiped a lot of them out. We cost them billions. And then at the end of the day, the only solution they got. Remember I was telling you before the creation of ape, everybody can go back in time. We're on the verge of a run right now.
Yeah.
This is it. I was saying it like, trust me, this is not insider type shit. But when you start looking around and you see orders are not being filled,
Yep.
and you see volume is slowing, and you start to say every day, how many shares are out there available? And it's like nothing. I'm like, holy shit, we're falling into this pattern. Here we go again. And then they created ape. The way they work, they got their quants. They know exactly when this is going to run. They know right now that the AMC right now is on the verge of running. This lawsuit delayed them. Now they by dumping ape on the market, you know, Antara doing whatever, and everybody going long on ape, you know, against the shorts on AMC, they've been able to keep it down. Look at what they did, 4 and change. 4 and change on a company that's making money. Think about that one. So they're pushing it down, but I'm telling everybody right now, they're pushing it down, but this is the best they got. If they got to face 180 days or this thing having to stay on it until it goes to federal court, trust me, there won't be nobody needed to go to the federal court. This thing will run and it'll be done. And like I said, it's just one of these things. Whatever the judge decides, I'm fine with it. I'm not trying to manipulate the stock. I'm fine with it, whatever. She goes, yes or no. But what I will ask her, because I took money losses and I had to hustle it in the street to get it, just give us a definition of what is ape before there's a settlement. Because that, at least we deserve that. At least we know, because if anybody wants to take legal action afterwards, they're going to go, well, they issued this, this wasn't a dividend, or they created a new stock even though nobody voted for it. And when they go, oh, it was an emergency, we were facing bankruptcy. You were facing bankruptcy, but a month before you were asking for a raise? I mean, it's public knowledge. They wanted to vote on a raise when you were facing bankruptcy.
Remember the tweets? Remember all the tweets? Oh,
yeah.
Oh, the
Trust
tweets
me.
are the best. The tweets are the best, dude. He
blocked me. He never followed me. It was fucking crazy. He followed everybody. I remember the last tweet he allowed me to send him. I think I told him to shove his turkey up his ass.
He won't respond to any of my emails. Tried calling him. Nothing from this guy. I called him up.
He called you the idiot from Boston.
Yeah, he called me the idiot from Boston, dog. That's what he called me.
Yeah.
He called me the idiot from Boston because I called him out because he wrote in one of the governance documents that his family members can make money in the company. I'm like, what are you fucking kidding me? And then all of a sudden, Philip Ladder's daughter comes in with the FTX thing. And I was like, no, stop.
My thing in this whole thing is this. I want everybody, I want them to make their money. I feel like if we get a chance to have a run up and people make their money and be done with AMC, I think it's the best thing, because this is like right now, like what our government is facing, what our country is facing.
Mm-hmm.
There is no positive outcome in next year's election process, or the process after the election. That's what this is. There's nothing positive that's going to come out of AMC. If we have a run, if you can make your money, do what you got to do. But my thing is this: this relationship with this company, this setup, the people behind it, I think it's best for us to move on to other fishing waters and get other fish, because we've been wrapped up with this motherfucker for so long. And you need to understand, we are now fighting the company that we fought to save.
Yeah.
Like, people need to take a big picture of that. That's like, oh my God, I love my wife. I do, forever. And then for 2-3 years later, like, I hate this fucking bitch. I'm going to poison her in her sleep. That's where we're at right now.
Jesus. It's just...
So I think that right now, if we can get this to be paused, pending the definition of what the fuck is aid, because how we're going to settle on this, change the council. And at the end of the day, listen, if we have the time, that's all we need. We're all here for the squeeze. We're all here for a good rip run. If right now, let's say next week, AMC ran to $60, I don't think not one motherfucker will be left holding shares.
Yeah.
I think this is so toxic. I think it's eating so much time. There's a ton of money to be made on the side. I just think at the end, and the people, you want people to sell. I'm like, I don't care if you fuck your sister. Like, for real, you can do whatever you want to do. But my thing is, this has consumed us. We're in a courtroom. We're going to wind up in federal courtrooms. This is crazy. You got an attorney slandering you, saying you don't own shares. Listen, not for nothing. I will make him publicly, show him the proof and make him retract that.
Yeah.
Like, for real, before you get somebody trying to sue you saying you weren't a shareholder and I listened to you, that kind of crazy shit. My thing is simple. At the end of the day, we're dealing with people that are willing to do whatever the fuck to save themselves. And this is right now what's happening in the market. This is what's happening right now in our government. This is what's happening overall. And everybody got in this to make a lot of money and go protect their family. Like, people can't lose track of this mission. And now, if we get a settlement, what are we going to get? We're going to get, each one, we're going to get a check for like a couple $100, $1,000, $2,000, $6,000, whatever.
Yeah.
They're going to fucking hit us with taxes. They're going to, does that even get put down as capital gains? Because it's part of a settlement on the stock, it's profit. Come on. There's no money in this court case for us. I think people got to get that out of their mind.
There's zero money.
This is ridiculous. You have a better chance of making money mugging people in the park. What will help us is, one, getting the definition, the time to allow the market to resolve the current AMC situation. And then I can live with that. I can live having at least, let's see, right now, July, August, and into September, I can live with those 90 days. And I can wash my hands to AMC.
That's a reasonable number too, bro. That's a reasonable number.
That's a reasonable number to allow the market ebb and flow to work with a future interest rate coming in. Right now with the economy, no liquidity. Yeah, I will go with 90 days. And how do you get the 90 days? You just ask Judge Dern to go, you can't rule on a settlement. There's no definition. Nobody knows what APE is. What are we settling for? There's 100,000 people out there that they don't even have their current address. How are they going to settle with them? I think Judge Dern is going to pause this. I don't think she's going to go forward with this. That's my feeling. She could. And like I said, whatever she decides, I'm just going to chalk this up as, man, this was a bad fucking relationship with this company. It was great. I met all you motherfuckers, and now we're going to go mug other things. Trust me. My mission is to find the golden yellow brick road to take us to the promised land.
Right.
We were cheated out of this.
Yeah.
We didn't lose. People need to understand that. On June 2nd, when I popped up in the 1st of May, because I remember filming my first video, I think it was on the 29th of April, and then I posted it, and like the first, I said, it's gonna run up, and I was talking about the price. I'm like, look, when I spoke to overseas brokers, and they told me that they couldn't get their orders filled through their partner broker, the registered agent on the street, and I started calling other brokers in different places that I know, I said, wait a minute. These motherfuckers are holding on to shares.
Yeah.
Then I said to myself, wait a minute, they ain't no shares. And then I was just laughing. I was like, yeah, and then a couple of days, I even retired from YouTube that 1 week on the Sunday. I said, okay, remember when the guy tried to give me the donut to give me the
Yeah.
I was done. I was going to make a fucking $1,000,000,000 on this thing. I was going to go fucking raise midgets and go fucking, I don't know, hunt fucking buffalo or something. And then all of a sudden, when I saw them drop those shares, I'm like, what CEO would drop the shares at 40 fucking dollars? What? I'm like, that's bizarre. And then they're washing it on the other side. He could have sold that to us. He could have said, listen, the company needs to renegotiate that. We're going to sell this stock. You know, they're going to run private auction. We would have bought it directly. I mean, that's crazy.
It's just nutty. Crazy. None of this stuff makes sense.
That's why this weekend I'm going to try not to talk about AMC, because I think that right now in this video, I think I just did the entire thing.
Yeah,
you put it out there.
You put it out there. Listen, it means so much, man. You know, it's been 3 years since we started on this thing, and I am thrilled to have you finally on the show. And you know, I'm absolutely fucking thrilled about that, man. Thank you for taking.
It's fine. You know what I said? You know, my thing was this. You know, when the government kidnapped me from where I'm at here and the shit that I went through, I sent you my book. I don't know if you had a chance to see it.
I did.
Okay, so you know the story.
I do. I didn't know it was that bad until I read the fucking, like, about halfway through. It's like, fuck, man, that's horrible.
Yeah, it was something that was unspeakable and unbelievable, but there was something interesting along the way. I've always been a money guy. I've always worked with these motherfuckers. I don't hate Wall Street people. I've been around a lot of them, and at the end of the day, I understand there's certain species, there's certain breed. Just like guys that work on a ranch, a lot of times those guys are not the most gentlest people in the world. When you see them around their family and kids, they're like big teddy bears. The thing is, when all this happened to me, they knocked me down, and I tell people all the time, I had no bank account, no credit card, no debit card, no Western Union money, nothing. If it was gone, and all of a sudden the war locked down, and I'm in the street, and I had to make my money throwing hands away. Now I got this motherfucker with the half a bandana on his head saying he wants to throw hands, like whatever. But the funny thing is, I'm there, and I saw people that didn't have anything taking their stimulus checks, trying to make some money. Like, you got to understand, like, you saw, like, let's face it, people that had good jobs and a okay salary, whatever, being told they couldn't go to work, and now they're in the streets trying to make money. Same thing happened when people got into the stock market. They were trying to make money to protect their, I mean, think about it. Everybody's like, the world's going to end.
Yeah.
So people are trying to make money. So my connection, I came from the streets. I tell people all the time. I was raised in Harlem and in the South Bronx. I came from the streets. I am the street. I will always be the streets. So I know that level of like poverty and not having money. So all of a sudden, I see people getting mauled. I see people getting mauled by entities that are receiving billions for the government. Like, why is a hedge fund asking for like COVID relief money for?
Yeah.
Like, I don't get that. When I saw that, I was like, oh shit, this is the 2008 bailout /2.0. That's all this was. I remember in the beginning of my book, remember when I said the first part, when I was in my apartment, I was talking about that something big is happening. It was 2019. All the major banks are going to the overnight window.
Yeah.
And I said, something bad is coming. And I literally said, but I don't got time to do. I'll deal with this nightmare later. And I went off to the gym. I went up to lunch. I went out to the gym.
Yeah, so now that shit happened.
And then all that shit happened. But then take a look at the timeline. October, November, December. Then we start shutting down airports, yada, yada, yada. And then all of a sudden, the countries are shut down, whatever. And then all of a sudden, all this money is flushed into Wall Street. And all this money is flushed into people's hands, and Reddit now is the new retail shareholder, Grand Central Station, Times Square, Ground Zero. This was fucked. That's why for me, I'm like, listen, when I saw this thing happen, like, people in GameStop, you got fucked over. Obviously, everybody knows that. Now they're gonna make a movie about it. You know, whatever they call it, you know, Warren Kitty. But listen, not for nothing. Where's Warren Kitty? You know where's Warren Kitty? He's enjoying his fucking money, because where was Warren Kitty from? He was from the financial sector in Boston. Yep. Like, everybody's like, oh my God, no, Warren.
I drove by his house, dog. I gotta tell you.
The fucking guys from the money sector in Boston. This is not like some barista that just, I don't know, learn how to trade stocks. Nothing bad against them or nothing like that.
Dog. I went to this motherfucker's house. I rolled up in his house, and there was a for sale sign. I was like, this motherfucker's gone. He's already out. The house is already empty. His windows are open. I'm like looking at it. It's like, he's fucking gone. He made $40 million. He's up in Kennebunkport, Maine right now, raising his kids. Oh, yeah. That's what he's doing.
You
ain't gonna see that motherfucker.
I listen, at the end of the day, I have no problem. But at the end of the day, what did he do prior to all this? There you go. Answer riddle me that one. But this whole fucking thing, this whole meme stuff was all, it smelled. It smelled with those various motherfuckers from Wall Street.
Yeah.
And it's, listen, like I said, I'm not against Wall Street. I can't be a part of this world anymore, because I don't agree with the next. If the money on Wall Street is either government bailouts or mugging everyday people, I don't want no part in that shit.
Yeah. I don't blame you, man. I don't fucking blame you one bit. This is not what it used to be. Now it's run by corporations. The idea that we're going to get a fair shake is just simply not plausible. It's not feasible, because the corruption has been so saturated. And it used to be like, well, it was just one guy here, one guy there. Now it's everybody. I'll give you an example.
I'll end this with this. And this is going to fucking pop people's heads. Remember the .com crazy shit in the 90s?
Yeah.
Okay,
the bubble.
Everybody, you could invest in anybody. Your sister could have a .com. Everybody had a .com. Why didn't you have any situation there with the payment for order flows, the dark pools? You didn't have any of that stuff. You didn't have any preferred equity units, nothing. A lot of people made a lot of money. But all of a sudden, with more technology, with better systems, now we have all these problems. The fix is in. If retail continues to put money into Wall Street, they're going to get fucked. Now, I'm going to tell you then the flip side of this. Wall Street fucked with the wrong people. Retail. I'm going to say this correct. Retail that does not have money. They have money in the market. Think about it. Let's look at AMC. Let's say 4 million people decide to go, fuck it, I'm cashing in, I'm getting the fuck out. Let's say GameStop people say, fuck it, I'm cashing in, I'm getting out. Bed Bath & Beyond, Mullen, GTII, COSM, let's look at the TRKDs. Let's just say all that money decides to go, you know what, go fuck yourself. Do you understand the type of Black Friday we're going to have?
Oof.
That's why right now, people, both sides are fucked. Like, retail's fucked for our involvement in this, but the other side is fucked because they're throwing dynamite in a lake to catch the fish to eat for dinner, not understanding that tomorrow's lunch, they're not going to be able to, get no more fish.
Yeah,
exactly.
Then you have the other side of this. This is like, okay, you got the world of crypto. Now, I told people a while back that Robot Godzilla is coming in. People didn't believe me. But behind the scenes, Morgan, BlackRock, all of them, do they all have tokenized now bonds and the securities, the derivatives? It's all being tokenized. What do you think is going to manage all that on the new exchange that Kenny launched with what's the other fucking
Fidelity?
Yeah, all of them. Think about it. What do you think is going to manage all that? Robot Godzilla's been on the side. It's been on the side anticipating the switch over to the FedNow system, the CBDC. People, I told you 2 years ago that the entire system would turn into a digital dollar system, crypto, blockchain, everything. The government's preparing. We get what? FedNow starts what? Monday?
Yeah.
No, tomorrow actually starts up. CBDCs are happening all around the world. People are going, where's Robot Godzilla? Up your mother's ass. If you can't see that behind the scenes, money is turning into this crypto, digital dollar, central bank currency. I think that they're willing to destroy everything to make profit because everything's going to be switched over to the other side either way. We're going to have a bad event and they're going to switch it over. That's my feeling right now. I feel something is coming right now to press the big reset button.
Look, I completely buy it. The destruction of the crypto markets, the stuff they've been doing lately is evidence of that. They're doing something fucked up. We're going to see it at one point, and we're not going to know what to do. I think, and you always talk about chicken at $72 or whatever the fuck. That stuff is that you're going to see that tangentially happening. I mean, we're going through an inflationary period right now, but when something like that happens, when a catastrophic market event happens, you're talking about your basic commodities, chewing gum, cigarettes, you name it.
Oh, it's in the dollar. They're going to punish the United States with everything we eat, drink, wear, drive, use, everything. They're going to get vengeance on the United States.
Yep.
People better get ready because your coffee, that disgusting coffee at Starbucks, that shit isn't grown in Ohio. It's one of those things. So everybody's like, oh, why are you so in that XRP Ripple? I'm like, that's kind of simple because they're using it to move their money outside the SWIFT quant system.
Yeah.
You don't need to go any further. You know, it's like if you go back in time and you find that Henry Ford is about to make all these cars and it runs on, oil. You go buy oil fields. This is just how it is. It's not, you don't got to be a rocket scientist for this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And since I came from, by the way, that's the funny thing about us. I mean, people know this. They can fucking do their research on it, the whole fucking thing. They can go back to when I was in Silicon Valley. When they had to do the e-payment system, and Elon was down the street with me with his brother. When he was doing the PayPal and everything, they had to do digital validation, timestamps. They had to do all that nonsense. And I was with the company, the Israeli fucks doing that stuff. And what's funny about it is, it's like I saw the future in this. I'm like, holy shit! Eventually, we're not even going to have cash money. This is what's going to be used. Well, this is the next step over that. I mean, the Fed. I'm going to tell you something. I just hit me in my head. Fed now is the next evolution of from the 90s way of moving money in the 128 encryption, the chips, and all that stuff. That was a gold mine for us back then.
Yeah.
So I already was in the first stage of digital money validation going forward. I would love to sit down with Elon and just say, listen, Elon, let's not come out there. When you were in PayPal, what was the challenges you faced? And he's going to be like securing the money in transit, encryption, timestamp that. And I'm going to say, well, doesn't XRP cover that right now?
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah. I'm sure he's got a bunch. I'm sure that fucker's got a squirreled it away, There's no question about it.
My thing is this. If I had, let's say right now, $100,000 in one box or XRP XLM in another box, and it's like, which one do I hold for like going forward? I'm gonna take the coin. I'm not gonna do. They're gonna get rid of that cash. So people are like, I don't know. Crypto sounds strange. I'm like, go ahead, don't worry about it. Wait till there's no fucking cash at the ATM. You'll see how strange you feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're gonna listen. This is reality. Like, your home country. Think about it this way. Let's say you take your XRP, put it on a fucking flash drive, you fly home. That shit is worth $1 gazillion. What are you gonna be like in your home country?
You're gonna be like a fucking king. Yeah. Live like yeah.
The reality is that Americans are gonna have to take that flash drive and go to new places if America becomes a dark place. People better have their passports ready. Try their best to stay in America. Fight for America. Do everything you can. But I'm telling people, what we're going into is like dun, 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 dun.
You're absolutely right, man. Hey guys,
Lou, I followed your advice and got the Faraday bag, man.
Smart. Let me tell you something. It's actually I got to give it to Elk. Because Elk is the one that chimed in on that one for me because me and him obviously we're close like that. It's Elk's like family. The thing is, when the government sees laptops, computers, cell phones, whatever, they put it in Faraday bags. Think about what I'm telling you. They seize evidence, they put it in one of those bags. So you got it. If you got one of those devices, what do you think you should do? Exactly.
It's on the way, bro.
Hey,
I laugh because I had a friend of mine tell me, like, listen, so what if you're busy doing all this shit and all kinds of stuff like that, and all this stuff runs and all these people make, but you're busy taking care of yourself. And I'm like, what? So what? I'm gonna have the fucking richest friends in the world. I don't have a fucking problem. I'm more than happy. I'm okay myself right now. I'm good. But listen, this is my legacy. I'm 52 and I went through the fucking abyss. I literally died on a fucking table. Like they hit me 3 times to come back. So if this is my legacy, if I could somehow turn around and save a bunch of motherfuckers for this darkness, because trust me, people, AMC is not the darkness that's coming. What's coming is going to be fucking bananas. Like I've gotten to the point where I look at it like this. We are facing something that it doesn't matter who you are, what you do for a living, what your education, what part of what doesn't matter anything. It will strip all of us naked. So we better prepare to have clothing on the side. AMC is a good run on how to get fucked over because what's coming next is beyond for getting fucked over. Like it's gonna be like getting fucked over and set on fire and somebody sticking a dog on you. Like, it's weird because most Americans never been overseas and they never seen like price controls on food, supermarkets where the middle class are fighting with the poor in order to make sure they can get the food they need before the currency value changes the next day because they're going to issue a new currency or the central bank. I'm like, this is coming to America. We're no longer immune from this. And people are like, oh, why are you so big on Trump? I'm going to tell you the reason why. It's real simple. And he got faults. All of us got faults. I'll tell you real simple. We're going to need somebody that can manage a bankruptcy. It's plain and simple. I don't give about his fuck on his stance on anything. I don't care anything. But I can tell you something now, because I've been invited to companies to kind of like help them reorganize and make millions. Well, America's a company. It's going to have to reorganize and make freaking quadrillions. And I don't think it could be paid back. So I think we're going to have to default. I think we're going to have to manage a new currency backed by something, which I think it could be oil, because that's what we definitely have a lot of. Because gold, we sure as hell don't have. We're going to have to go through a whole new thing. And that's why I see going forward, I'm telling people, with now to the time frame of the election, anybody, I don't give a fuck who you are. You're a federal judge, you're a fucking marshal, you're a postman, you work at McDonald's, you mug people in the park for a living. Everybody's gonna get touched on this. I have somebody, he's a friend of mine. He plastic surgery, makes a lot of money. It's a killing. He makes a killer business. I mean, he makes so much money. I told him, who the fuck is gonna get plastic surgery during depression?
What'd he say?
It just stopped them. I said, it's going to be a digital depression. Nobody has ever seen that. That is it, a digital depression. And people go, no, that can never happen. Look at the Canadians right now. They're one step away from going into the fucking danger zone without Top Gun. Like, they're for real. Like, they're like, right now, like, everything is shutting down. There's social credit systems, whatever. They're going to digitize everything on them. And if you're a bad boy, you're not going to get your money. Like, that's right next door. Those are our brothers and sisters. Like, literally, yeah, they hang out with fucking grizzly bears and have too much syrup. I get it. But the thing is, that's us. And people think it's not going to happen to us? Come on.
Yeah, it's naivety.
Prepare.
It's completely naive to think that we're just going to be protected for the rest of our lives. No, it doesn't work that way. We can be God at. We have been vulnerable for a number of years. We can be God at. And it's like nobody wants to address that because they just want America to be the shining beacon and all this other stuff. I get it, man. I fucking get it. But if you don't protect, what's that? Who says that shit? Protect your neck. Who's that fucking guy? Frank. One of the fucking Wu-Tang. It's Wu-Tang.
Expression now.
It's Wu-Tang. He's like, protect your neck. We didn't do that.
I'll give you an example. I'm a judo guy for a bazillion years, and I get guys that they start training and stuff like that, whatever. And I have to tell them the reality. Chances are somebody's going to dislocate a joint training with you. Somebody's probably going to choke you out many times. You're going to pass out. You're going to take a bad fall. You're going to break fingers in it. But this is what you have to know is part of the game. Americans and people now have to understand a financial collapse, digital money that controls what you buy and spend, the whole thing, being displaced from your position in life. These are things that can happen.
Yeah.
It will happen. There's no way around it. You know, I used to crack jokes all the time with the other black belts that I trained with, and I was like, you know, what's the definition of a black belt? I said the motherfucker that could endure all these fucking injuries for so long.
Yeah.
That's what I really thought it was. Because people after a while was like, fuck, bro, hurt my back, hurt my knee, I'm doing surgery, I'm doing all kinds of stuff. That's what it was. How much could you take? The thing is that a house mom and an attorney are both going to suffer the same, because they're going to reset everything. They're just getting ready. Right now, India right now just announced that they're about to start entering into the pilot program for the CBDC.
Yep.
Their CBDC.
Yep.
But what they didn't fucking say is that 5 to 6 years ago, they partnered up with Ripple to start that program, that pilot. They've been working on this shit for 5 years. It's like Saudi Arabia. They've been working on partnerships all over there. That's why people are like, oh, Ripple, I don't know about them. What are the lawsuits? I'm like, I don't give a fuck about the lawsuit. When you got the Indians, the Saudi Arabians, you got the South Africans, you got the Russians, you got the Chinese, you got every fucking, you got fucking Colombia now is partnering with them to, I mean, look, the reality is we're going into a different world. I tell people all the time, AMC is great. I hope we make money. Do I think we're going to get a MOAS? Only if we're allowed to let the market forces hit it, like a pause, and let us go. Other than that, listen, this settlement, ain't nobody going to make no money on this. That's it. We won, but they cheated. There you go. I'll close the case in that capacity. People want to do lawsuits after that. Listen, good luck. You know,
Lou.
Yeah.
Listen, man, as you're talking, I'm looking things up to corroborate. It's like an old habit. I can't help it. But to mark the occasion for you coming on the show, I got to read you this tweet from Adam Aaron, August 4th, 2022. You will get one ape tax-free as a stock dividend for each one AMC common share that you own. At least for now, the big news today is not dilution. The AMC preferred equity unit dividends all go and only go to existing owners of company-issued common shares. Hashtag today we pounce.
Let me tell you something. Now, you put a cover page on that called Exhibit A.
Thank you.
You send that over to Ted, and he puts that on an emergency motion saying that we need time. There you go. Done.
Lou versus
I brought it up.
Lou versus Wall Street. Guys, if you haven't read his book, I'm going to leave a link right in the description for this video. You can click it right there. You can buy it right there. There it is. I got it right here.
I feel sorry for what that motherfucker went through.
The link is in the description of the video. Lou, thank you for joining me tonight. I appreciate it.
Nah, don't worry about it.
I hope we can do it again.
Yeah.
Listen, we're gonna the day she does the results, right? Let's do a live broadcast. Let's go you on your side, me on my side. We'll get all of the no voters, all of our friends, and we'll have a long, meaningful discussion about what Zern is going to do the day of, and we'll have a great night. Well, I think we'll win personally, so I'm going to have champagne on ice ready, and you know what I'm saying. We'll just.
I look at it like this. I want people that voted yes and we voted no. I think people have to get to the one piece at the end. We all got fucked together. Like, at the end of the day, the idea that they were trying to divide us into two camps, remember, we were all the same. We all wanted the squeeze to happen. We wanted the money. And then if Ape, the creation of Ape is going to cause the MOAS. Remember, I used to get death threats.
Yeah.
I have fucking all kinds of wild stuff. And then at the end of the day, what do we find? Ape was the fucking con job of the century. Popcorn's a silverback. All of a sudden, this motherfucker is dealing with somebody named Mamoon and has like 50 secret email accounts. And
yeah.
You can't even make this shit up. Like, for real. Like, he's fucking working with like members of ISIS or some shit. It's like, and all these names keep popping up, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Like I said, we all came here to make money. There's nothing wrong with that. They fought. They did something. Look at right now. What you have there, that tweet right there, how the fuck is the dividend going to be traded on the dark pool, shorted, and an options chain? Right there. I mean, even let's say Popcorn is a good guy. Okay? I'll leave it at that. If he saw that happening to a dividend, why didn't he stop it?
Yeah.
It's real simple. Like, wait a minute, what do you mean this dividend is being traded, tokenized, in the dark pool, like shorted. Like that should have been stopped. It's real simple. Did he get? Remember when somebody said the AMT was going into bankruptcy? He got all fucking upset and butthurt and said he was going to take action against it. He got so upset about that. But then you got somebody fucking trading your fucking dividend and shorting it and putting it in the dark pool and selling it to Guatemalans, and you don't get upset at that?
Yeah, just fucking crazy shit, man.
How about options on a preferred share? How does APE become the most shorted stock on the New York Stock Exchange when it's a tiny preferred share? It's unheard of. This shit is
haven't you heard? It's not a preferred. It's a dividend.
No, it's a unit. It's a unit.
It's a unit. It's oh my god. Hold on a second.
I got your unit right here.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna see if I remember this. Let me see if I get it over here. Let me tell you something. At the end of the day, and I kept always saying, where is ape? What's ape? What the fuck is an ape? And people used to get so angry with me. It was unbelievable. And I just said to myself, like, look, you need to just relax for a second and just think about it. There is nobody explaining this because they don't want you to know it. They don't want you to know what ape was. And let's just face it, we still don't know what ape is. And let's see if I have it here. Yeah, I remember doing like the first, I started with what is an ape right from the beginning. But I'll leave it with this and I'll sign off on this one. Hold on a second. I'll play it out here. This is what I do when I think about ape. All right, here, 2 seconds. Is Ape wants respect. Oh my God, that's the Fredo stock. Listen, guys, giant hugs, giant loves.
Thanks, brother. We'll see you soon. Yeah.
I'll be around. Listen, don't stress out about this nonsense. Don't. Because this should have killed you early. It's in Judge Jones' hand. That's it. Let's just leave it at that. If Ted wants to put that motion in, the emergency one, to persuade her to, pause it, that's a good thing. You don't need nothing more than that tweet.
I buy it. I appreciate you.
Nah, don't worry about it. Giant hugs, everybody.
Giant hugs, brother.
God bless, Lou.
God bless you.
Oh, go.
Well, that was fun, Frank.
Oh, yeah. Best show ever.
Best show ever. Yeah. All
That
kinds
was
of good
great.
stuff tonight. I think we brought value. Lou definitely brought value. The two gentlemen from earlier, they brought value.
Yeah.
And, of course, we just sat here and took it. This is why we are the most influential channel. I mean, the other videos, they might get clicks, man, but we are the most influential people in this community. Like,
and
we
who
are.
loves you, man? Who dragged you into XRP? You were kicking.
Hey, that was all you, Frank. That was all you all day. That was all
ahead
you,
of
brother.
my time.
Yeah. No, there's no question about it. I want to thank the community, our Alpha Boston community. You guys are really the superstars. You guys have helped me, encouraged me, motivated me to keep doing great things for this community. I want to say thank you for that. I want to thank Ethan, of course, Jordan, Uncle Frank. I love you to death. I think the big thing now here, guys, is just relax. Enjoy the 4th of July weekend. Enjoy your family time. Make love to your wife. Hold your kids. Whatever you got to do to get through this next week, and let's see what happens afterwards. Know that we are going to keep you guys in prayer. We're going to keep you uplifted in prayer. We're not the best Christians. I'm not the best Christian at all, but I am trying and I am praying for you and your family. And I mean that. I am absolutely 1,000% mean that. That being said, I want to say thank you again for everything you guys have provided. If you want to join our community, hit that button right there. Hit the join button, and you can join our little clique and be a part of the festivities. So as soon as we get new news, new results, whatever, we will let you guys know. We are keeping an eye on everything. That way, sleep peacefully at night, knowing that Jordan, me, Uncle Frank, Ethan, we're all keeping an eye out and just making sure everyone's honest, keeping them honest, and all that good stuff. Uncle Frank, you got anything?
Hey, man, the only thing I would add to that is you're not going through this alone. Okay, we're not shills. We own the shares. Okay, we're with you. I got OG shares, both AMC and APE, and you don't have to go through this alone. And not only that, when Lou said 90 days, I kind of exhaled a little bit because APE is going to be a year old in August. Tomorrow is July. I know it feels like forever, You know, but some fights take time. You know,
Yep.
and Lou repeated what I said at the beginning. Okay, we won. They don't want to pay. Okay, you didn't make a bad decision. You got cheated.
You got fucked up.
That's
boy.
all there is to it. You got cheated. You got screwed by a vehicle that they named after you. Okay, they're laughing at us, but they're not laughing now. Now they want to get out of court. They wanted this done. And I don't know what's going to come of this case. Me and Al differ on this, but it doesn't matter because, like Al said, you know what? There's a higher power involved too. Bernie Madoff thought he was going to get away with it too.
Yeah.
So did Credit Suisse. That's all I got, Al.
Jordan?
That's pretty much all I got. I mean, just awesome live, nearly 4 hours. I mean, we gave this thing everything we got. It's now essentially out of our hands, in God's hands, and Judge Zern's hands, and we pray for justice on this.
That's all we can do. Pray for justice. And hopefully she sees it our way. God bless you. I love you guys. Thank you for everything. We'll see you guys in the next day or so. We make another video or so, or we want to just shoot the shit and not talk about stocks. We might do that. God bless you guys. We'll see you guys at the bell. Al from Boston, on behalf of Uncle Frank and Jordan, we'll see you guys later. Good night.
See you at the bell.
Jordan, you're